Okay, I'm running out my project. This project is on emotion detection. Hmm. These are the various datasets that I have created. Like my datasets I create for my own self for the face emotion detection, and for sound I have downloaded a dataset which have almost 344 sounds in total, about 100 files in angry, about 79 files in happy, 74 files in neutral, and in sad I have 71 files. Okay, and I'll just show and demonstrate the whole project to you once I run it. I'm sorry, I run this whole project. First I'll show you how I create the dataset. Okay, so these are NHSNA for creating the datasets the way you want. So I'll just capture the images. So it's like neutral, happy, sad, and angry. Okay, and I'll just let me make you go through these, and I'll make you see the images which I have in the dataset now. Like I have created my face dataset. So you can see I have a image of right now over here in my dataset, a image for happy over here as of now, a image of neutral over here, and a image of sad over here. These are the datasets which I have created as of now. Because I am having less data for my dataset, my prediction is not so accurate. Although in this project I am analyzing the emotions live based on your face and on even on the sound emotion detection. So I just take you go through how I am creating the data sets. Okay. So it's like I am using out these things. These are the various imports which I am using for this project. That is NumPy, IMUtils, CV, and it's OpenCV, OS, the mathematics file which I'm using, like math for performing the mathematical functions, like analyzing the face measurements and all. Then again, all these some imports. Then I'm creating datasets folder within which I'm giving the path of the folder and the labels like angry, neutral, happy, sad, all those labels. Now I create a folder over here by database folder. Now if the path exit does not if the path does not exist, no folder will be created and the photo is not saved. And if the path exists, then it will first make the directory and then send the data over there. Then it's like detect face, where I'm performing the detections. I'm using neural networks concept inside this, and this is from where I'm having the input. I'm forwarding it. I'm working on the loops where I have given a range, detection of shapes. Then this is the start of max min. These are the functions for which I have imported my math, for having the start x and end y and x, all those values, for ensuring that only this much portion of the face is being included, otherwise no. Like only the face measurements which are near your face is there, only those can be imported, otherwise no. And capture a video, for capturing the video I'm having these, for creating the datasets folder I have these. Then Mm, I am using a gray color scale, which is from OpenCV, which says color BGR, background color as gray. I'm having all the images as gray because colored images I did try it, but I was not able to classify it more properly. And more often, the references which I have used for this particular project, along with that, from there I observed how I can have this, and I created the data set and everything in back in gray color. Then these are the infos which tells me that on press of H this gonna happen. S sad will be there, and for neutral, Q for quit, A for angry will be there. Then these are the things which make my data set capture all the things: keyword A, N, H, and all. S, A, sad and angry. Okay. And release, and when I close this, it wanna destroy all the windows. Okay, so this is about how I am creating my data set. Now I will come to the main running of my project. Okay, so I have run my project for the emotion detection now. Okay, and I'm having this in a manner that my video and audio is being recorded over here. If I'm gonna use some other device which is accessing my audio at the same time, my project will gonna prompt me an error that your microphone is already being used, or some warnings, and there will be like the kernel will stop working if that such thing happens. Okay, and most often my emotions are being detected, so let's see whether it's being detected properly or not. I'm gonna make you walk through all the things. Okay, and it's like it does not analyzes the emotions perfectly on one go. It will capture the emotions in parts, as my sound analysis is not so proper, but and more often my project guesses the values on the basis of its face, although there might be possibility of 10 out of 100 in which it will be analyzing on the basis of sound. Like right now I'm speaking in a neutral voice, so you can see that my project will be prompting out a neutral thing, as my face expressions are in neutral, and at sometimes it will be prompting me as sad, because like I have not given such a big great data set, so it gonna prompt some sort of errors. So let's see how much prediction I can make. Okay, you can see how my project is predicting all of these stuffs. Like, see, neutral, neutral, sad, sad, neutral, happy. In the cases where it is finding me to be as happy. Like, see, and even if I am just talking in this manner, this is printing, it will be predicting, like it predicts in parts. It never gonna be like, see, yeah, the prediction is not so accurate, but yes, the model is actually working. So I just hope that this gonna work fine, and I have no doubt I have to work on this project more, because the sound analysis and all the things are not so well often over here. Okay, so let's try to work over it. I'll just stop this thing over here. Okay, now as you can see, I have closed my camera, the running project. I'll make you go through the uh, code of my project. Let me make you go through it. So I have TensorFlow, Keras, and Utilise, all the things which I am importing from the TensorFlow. See, OpenCV and TensorFlow are the two main things which I have used for having the deep neural networks working in my project. Again, some of the same files which I was using in the create dataset file. Now over here I have this blog frame for detections. I detect and predict over here, as this is the main thing where my face emotion is being captured and it's being predicted. So detection, face, net, forward. I am creating three kind of arrays: face, locations, and predictions. One for the locations from where the data is being fetched, face for the like images which I have, and the predictions which I gonna generate. Now this for loop is gonna give me my confidence in threshold, in the which I gonna classify my data. My data is classified into 80 and 20, 20 for testing and 80 for sorry, I mean 80% for testing and 20% for 80% for training and 20% for testing. Now these are some of the masked models which will be created, or the model files which will be created, which you can see over here, right? Okay, now this threshold is gonna give me the value for which it's gonna capture out my faces, the frequency and the amount of the data which I already have. Okay, now this print info is giving me this. Now proto text path, weights path, facenet path, these are all the paths for loading my face detector model from the main disk from which I have created. Now the model on the disk which I load from there, you can see these infos over here. Like, see, I'll make you go through it. These infos even came when I was doing it, right? All these infos did came, right? These infos did came. Okay, and I gonna make this move more down now. Now these again for the frame color, frame copy, Visual Studio reading, the predictions and the box models, location and predictions, label happy, neutral, sad as per the things which I face over here, and Q for coming out of the model. Now this is the ML model which I am using for my sound detection, in which I am using sklearn as my imports and my main files. I have classified this over random forest, like I have used the concept of random forest classifier in this thing. So I gonna make my, this is the ML model which I have created, in which I am having some initializing save model and load model files which I will be using. Then I have the train and the predict one data functions, in which I am training and predicting my data sets. Now these are some of the inits, RF class file, the things I want to have during the loading of my main project. Now this is RF, yeah, neural network model. These are the utilities which I have used in my project. Can very well go through them. Signals and all the if cases for making the project run properly. Then these data labels, these directories, current directories. So have all the details using working. Now this DNNPy, that is, which is the main file that is handling all the deep neural networks. Okay, then this DNN model having this thing over here, then super, as I'm calling out the classes over here, then load model, save model, again training of the data set is being performed in data and predict one, make default, and again the classifier class is being created, and it will create out the model over here, self model. So it's going to make predictions and activations, and this init file provides a library to it's basically a kind of library in which you're going to perform the speech emotion detection. This is the main file from which I have created the functions I have used it. It is acting as my library for having my speech detection being performed over here. Then accuracy and confusion matrix to be there, and this one is for the training of the whole project, as I have combined all of the things in this thing. This is the main training file which is performing training over the whole project. Now these are the image paths, loading images and all thing which are giving like giving the time to it. Now I am appending the images and the data labels accordingly. Then similarly I gonna have my voice thing being loaded, which I work using over here. Over here, I'm gonna fit all my all of the data which I have for regarding my face analysis and regarding my sound analysis. Although I have already told you that my sound analysis was not so proper, it was just to be so accurate. And having the training completed, if I gonna make this thing emotion detection thing run. Okay. Now I have run this file and you can see it says training completed. Now I'll make you go through the graph which I have received. Now this is the plot which I have received via the training model which I ran. This is loss and accuracy. So this is the training data loss which I have, like this red line devotes the training data loss which I already have been losing out in my data, and this is the valid data loss. Then this is the train accuracy, like how much accurate can be my project at the time being, and this is the value accuracy that it gives. Okay, now you can find this project out within the GitHub link. Within the GitHub link, I am sharing the GitHub link in the description below.